we're back with another episode.
This episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler is sponsored by myapothecary.com. My Apothecary is the premier online destination for hemp-derived CBD that will help you curate a wealthy lifestyle. All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. We are back again. Another week. We are back again.
Blessed to be here.
Blessed and highly favored. How was your week this past week?
Yo, I have some things to talk about.
Oh, geez. Do tell.
Okay, so I have a COVID vaccine.
Okay.
I feel a sense of freedom in going out to bars and restaurants at this point because
Yeah.
Have you seen Harry Potter?
Of course not. We talked about this last time.
Well, there's this part when he's like, I've done my waiting, 12 years of it in Azkaban, which is a prison. And that's how I feel. I've done my waiting, 12 years of it. I'm going out. I'm going to be safe, whatever.
Yeah.
So here are my complaints about the world at large.
Okay.
First of all, I went to this outdoor bar and I thought that because I've been stuck inside, we haven't been stuck inside, but like I haven't been in a lot of social settings in a year. I'm someone who has a low threshold for people I don't know because they annoy me very easily. Like I need at least a 2-drink minimum to talk to someone I don't want to talk to. Yeah. But I was like, you know what? I've been stuck inside all year. We're just happy to be alive. We're happy to be going out again. Surely I can socialize.
Yeah.
First mistake. So we're standing in line for a table because they don't let your group in if there's not a place for you to sit because we don't want too many people gathering, right? Very responsible. And while we're waiting, this guy comes over to my group of girlfriends and he's like, hey, we saw y'all were waiting for a table. We're about to leave. If you guys want to come and just sit at our table and wait for a little bit, we're going to, leave soon. You can have our table. I'm automatically like, nope. Can't
Sketchy.
do it.
Yeah.
Sketchy. Don't want to talk to you. You're creeping me out. I don't trust your dog either. That's not putting me at ease.
Yeah. Definitely not.
So I'm like, Ted Bundy used dogs. That's how he got
Yes,
people.
he did.
So, but there's a big group of us. And first of all of us are like, because no one knows how to act around people anymore.
Right.
And even the bouncer was like, you guys don't have to go if you don't want to. And then we're like, well, fuck, we're not trying to be fucking rude to these people. They said they were going to leave. They look like they're leaving. There's only a couple people there. We'll go sit at the table.
Yeah.
Lie number one. They weren't fucking going anywhere, motherfuckers. So they're talking to us. It's the weirdest conversations I ever had. And I can't tell if it's because I'm sober or I'm annoyed or they're actually just weird people.
Probably all three.
And then, we're sitting there for a while. I'm trying to tell them like, oh, all of our other friends are coming. Well, they keep having friends show up to the table. So now I'm uncomfortable. I didn't think I had COVID anxiety, but now I'm like, there's too many people gathered in this space for me. So we're going to have to make some moves. And then we're just, having polite conversation that I'm entertaining because I'm a nice person. I'm not trying to be rude to your face after you just shared your table.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, like we're trying to figure out what to eat. They said, oh, we've gotten this and this before. It's pretty good. I said, oh, okay. He's like, well, but I just hate giving people suggestions about food because I don't want you to hate it. And I, joking was like, oh, well, it's okay. If I hate it, I'll just get the money from you. You can pay my $11.
Right.
We'll call it even. He was like, I'll find you. Haha. He's like, oh, you won't have to. When you go order food, we're going to order food too. So we'll be here and it'll be fine. And I was like, y'all said y'all were leaving. You also said there were less people at this table than there were. I'm done. That's it. That's strike 3. I'm fucking out.
He's a serial killer.
I'm like, definitely. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. That's a serial killer.
We promptly I had to go tell the bouncer. I was like, hey, don't know what's going on. I told my friend, go tell him right now. We need another table.
Yeah,
we're not doing it.
Definitely. Clear across the room.
So I thought that this season of growth and COVID just like really had turned me into someone who was light and airy and to put up with things because they were just starved for human attention. False. I can't do it. I can't be around people.
Yeah, I had not really a similar situation. I went out for the first time like to the stores in like months. And because usually I'll go when like the stores first open so I can be like the first one in there. And Saturday I went to like Home Goods and Hobby Lobby and TJ Maxx and where else did I go? Oh, Burlington to get some stuff or whatever. And I was just out and it was so many people. And I was like, this is disgusting. I don't like this. I was out of my house for like 4 hours, which is the longest time I ever spent out of my house. Because usually when I go grocery shopping, I'm in and out. But yeah, I mean, my Saturday ended very well, but to say the least, once I got back in my house.
Yeah. We went out on Friday. Our friend was DJing at a bar, and we're like, oh, so the bar, it was like on a strip of bars. Mm-hmm. And first of all, we pull up, and I was like, this shit is packed. I
bet no one had a mask on in there.
I was like, I get it, but what the fuck is going on over here? It was loud. Mm-hmm. Everyone acted like it was spring break or something.
Yeah.
So I parked my car and I called my friends and I was like, I'm not getting out of this bitch until y'all are with me. I refuse. I'm
not doing it.
I have social anxiety now.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it. So as I'm sitting there, a car pulls in front of me and parks right parallel. And then a car pulls behind me close as fuck. And I was like, listen, I'm not trying to have to navigate this shit at 1 a.m. My other friend pulled up. I was like, let me just park where you are now. As I'm pulling out to parking my car, this truck pulls around, slams into the back of the car behind me.
Oh my God.
And takes off.
Wow.
And we're all just standing there like, what the fuck is going on?
This is why I stay my ass in the house.
I was like, am I usually drunk at this point? Do things like this happen all the time?
Probably.
And I'm just sober, so I'm seeing it?
Yeah, definitely. Welcome to my world. This is why I don't go out.
Luckily, the big crowd was at the bar, for the bar next to the bar I was going to. So
okay.
There wasn't really anyone in the bar I was at. But I was like, people out here are just acting reckless and rowdy now.
Yeah, it was way too many people out. And then even too, I went to this one particular Home Goods that's the bigger Home Goods in our city. And there was like a line down the little strip just to get in the store. And I was like, first of all, it is 90 something degrees in Texas right now. You really think I'm about to stand my fat ass in all black outside in a line to get into a goddamn store? I will go to Amazon. Fuck you, Home Goods. I mean, if you want to sponsor our podcast, then no, we love you. However, I went to another Home Goods that did not have a line, and I walked my happy ass right on in.
There you go. You just got to find a good one.
Yeah, it was way too many people.
Yeah, so this has been a week of realizations for me.
Like what? What have you realized?
That I can't be around groups of people like I used to be able to. I think we were all desensitized to it.
Who was we? I never liked people.
I know, but you were able to go to a store and be around people, and now you're just like, fuck it.
No, I was never able to do that.
Oh, then COVID was made for you.
That's what I said. I used to go when the stores would open right away. Like I would be one of those, like the old people standing outside the Ross at 8:55. Like that's me.
Wow. I will say, like, even in my heyday, like in the time where I was majority of the time in large groups of people, my only issue was like when people do that thing where they're kind of bumping into the back of you just because of the way the crowds move.
Yeah, they're way too close.
That shit makes me nauseous, and that's where I would freak out. And I'd be like, make a fucking bubble.
Yeah.
But I was down to be in a crowd. Now I'm not doing it.
No.
I can't. I refuse.
One of the doctors, I saw her and she saw me in the hallway and she was just like, oh my gosh, Monica, I haven't seen you in so long. So she was like, oh, I'm going to give you a hug. I'm vaccinated. And I was looking at her like, I'm not.
But okay if it makes you feel better.
I mean, we both have on a mask, but okay.
You're protected, girly.
Pretty much. But yeah, people suck. I hate people. I just hate people. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So this week we have a lot to unpack. There's been a lot of stuff going on. On this past Friday, the world is now mourning.
Stop.
Rapper DMX.
Drop.
Shut him down.
Roll up. Is it open up?
Shut him down. Open up shop.
I'll never know it.
Not shut him up shop.
Shut him up shop.
It's definitely.
I'm in mourning. You can't judge me for that.
Yeah. So DMX passed away at the age of 50 on Friday at White Plains.
50?
He was only 50. He actually looked good. He didn't even look 50. He had put some weight on him too, which was he looked really, really good with the weight on. So he died this past Friday at White Plains Hospital. And we all know that he suffered a drug overdose, and they were saying that he had very little brain activity. For most of us who work in the healthcare field, we see this unfortunately on a regular basis where patients come in and they overdose, and it depends on what you overdose on. Like, I don't know if I know his drug of choice was heroin. Meth, we don't really see a whole lot of meth overdoses. And if you do, you just give them Narcan and they come back to life. You know, exactly. Like they literally come back to life. Even like, I don't really see a whole lot of crack overdose. I don't know if you can overdose on crack. I don't know.
I'm just sure you can.
But I mean, most of the people who overdose on it, they come out of it pretty okay. But yeah, so unfortunately he did pass away on Friday, and the world has been mourning him. He was an amazing rapper, actor. He had 17 kids. Did you realize that?
That is so much sperm.
That is a lot of sex.
17.
17
He had some strong
children.
fighters.
Yes, he did. I mean, I want to say he had either like 3 or 4 kids with his first wife, Tashira.
What does that child support look like?
He probably didn't pay any. I'm quite sure. Yeah, I don't know how you can financially support 17 kids. I mean, because he hadn't put out music and stuff. I mean, he probably didn't even have to put out a whole nother record, for the rest of his life. But I think his drug addiction, unfortunately.
I just think about every time they play Up in Here on a movie.
Well, it depends on what his residual was
true.
from that. I mean, what their contract was. Because if you just license out the music, then you're just, you're getting the spins, but I mean, how often? But yeah, so unfortunately he died. That was very sad. I feel like people in the social media world, especially like Funk Master Flex, and then even like Master P came out and made statements about, his death could have been prevented. And I'm like, how the fuck do you prevent the death of somebody overdosing? Like, people who have addictions to drug and alcohol, they have to want to get better. You cannot lock this grown ass man in a treatment facility or even force him to do it if he doesn't want to do it. I mean, he was on Ayan Levin's. First of all, anybody that's followed his career knows that he has had a very tumultuous life. I mean, even from the start, from his mom being abusive to him when he was just a kid, to her dropping him off at a foster care center. I mean, he has been abandoned his entire life, and he has fought a lot of demons. So for people to assume that everybody around him, y'all could have helped stop it. No, the fuck they couldn't.
It's a disease, sir.
It's a disease. Like, you have to want to be, and it's a daily choice to want to get better. You cannot force a grown person who obviously has lived with a certain level of privilege as a celebrity. You cannot force him to get treatment. And if it works so well, why the fuck didn't you do it, Master P and goddamn Funk Master Flex?
That's why they say you're never not an addict. You're always an addict.
Yeah.
You just make a choice every day to not
do it.
Yeah,
exactly.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, and there was some talk today about that, I guess, I don't know how true this is, so this is all alleged, that Beyonce and Jay-Z are planning to buy his masters to all his records for about $10 million, and they're gonna give the masters to his 17
kids.
children. Yeah. Which I think is wonderful. Mm-hmm. I mean, if that is true, I think that is very wonderful that they would do something like that. They need to help Anita Baker, though, because Anita Baker needs to get her masters too. Yeah. That's why I haven't been playing any Anita Baker songs, because on behalf of her request. So she doesn't want us to play any of her stuff. Anyway, so also next in the news, George Floyd. Actually, it's not the George Floyd trial. It is the Derek Chauvin, whatever the fuck his name is. It is his trial because he is the murderer here. And they are actually in day 9 of this trial, which I didn't really think that this trial was going to take 9 days.
You'd think it'd take 1.
I mean, you think it wouldn't be a trial at all. Like, just, you're a fucking piece of shit, So there have been a lot of different interviews that have gone on, from medical examiners to expert testimony of physicians and things of that nature, talking about the extent of his cause of death. The medical examiner, Andrew Michael Baker, basically said that based off his, when he first signed the death certificate of George Floyd, he said that he ruled it a homicide, and the prosecution was just like, oh, so after hearing all this evidence and blah blah blah, do you still stand by your first initial thing? And he was like, bitch, yeah, the shit ain't changed. Yeah, like it has not changed.
If someone had not crushed his windpipe,
yeah,
he would be living.
And he basically said, so I'm going to play this little clip.
Cause of death for Mr. Floyd.
So my opinion remains unchanged. It's what I put on the death certificate last June. That's cardiopulmonary arrest, complicating law enforcement subdual, restraint, and neck compression. That was my top line then. It would stay my top line now.
Yeah, so in the words of Nene, I said what I said.
I said what I said.
Yeah, and that was not the prosecutor. That was the defense that actually asked him that question. But then the prosecution tried to come and, again, ask him more questions about, well, so are you positive that this is the reason why? And he's like, bitch, I said what I said. I
love that June. In the year of our Lord, 2021, everyone's like, look, obviously, we see what happened. I'm not trying to get mixed up in this bullshit for you, America.
Exactly. And even, too, there was the forensic pathologist. Her name is Dr. Lindsay Thomas. So Dr. Lindsay Thomas, who is the forensic pathologist, she also testified that George Floyd died due to subdural restraint and compression. And even like the judge had to stop her because she was going into like this whole like rabbit hole. The judge was like, okay, don't do that. She said, oh, okay. So I'm gonna play that.
And cardiac arrest. So this is not a sudden cardiac death, a sudden cardiac arrhythmia. This is a death where both the heart and lungs stopped working. And the point is that it's due to law enforcement subdual, restraint, and compression. That is kind of what ultimately is cardiac arrest. So this is not...
Okay. So yeah. So she also said what she said as well. Like, hey, this is what's been going on. Y'all on some bullshit. So just stop. So yeah. So we're I don't know how many more days they have of this trial.
Too many more.
It's just ridiculous because the evidence is all right there. So
you know what? I kind of do like that he's having to sit in this court and have multiple people say, "No, bitch, this is your fault."
Yeah, and even other law enforcement officers, you have all of these forensic people, even some of the private people that they tried to get in to do autopsies. What? Autopsies, really, Monica? Autopsies and all this other kind of stuff. And they're all saying the same thing. This was a homicide. And even, too, the medical examiner said, he testified, first of all, George Floyd had very minimal meth in his system. And the amount of meth that he had in his system would not cause a cardiac arrest, and also for his fucking lungs to stop. Like, that was literally asphyxiation by you putting your little raggedy ass knee on the fucking neck of this man.
This also isn't one of those cases where it's like, it was a very stressful situation and the force I used might have been more than normal, but from the footage you can see that no one really knew what to do, and it's so unfortunate these circumstances. It's not like there's a very hard line to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or it's not like there's a blurred line.
No, there's no line of delineation
it's like
here.
He was subdued. He was on the ground. He wasn't doing anything. You had multiple people around to help.
And even the medical examiner on one of the, I can't find the clip right now, but one of the clips that they played was he literally zoomed in on the picture and he said, I want you to notice Derek Chauvin's knee on George Floyd's neck. But what I want you to pay more attention to is his foot. If you look at the black boot that he has on, his toe is off the ground at a significant level, which means all of the force is going downward on this man's neck. There is no way that is a proper, subduing move that police officers do. Like, that was definitely fucking intentional. Like, you knew what the fuck you were doing by having your whole body weight and your foot off the goddamn ground. Like, you can't sit there and say that that's any other way of doing it. But even too in the news, this happened in Florida, unfortunately, kind of piggybacking off of the Derek Chauvin murder trial. There was a 3-judge panel that rules that police can be seen as victims even if they use deadly force. So basically, there was this 13-page decision that the First District Court of Appeals and 3 other judges ruled that police officers who get into violent incidences deserve the same privacy protections as crime victims. That the officer acts in self-defense to that threat does not defeat the officer's state's status as a crime victim. And thus, as a crime victim, such an officer has the right to keep confidential information or records that could be used to locate or harass the victim or the victim's family, or which could disclose confidential or privileged information on that victim. So again, a 3-judge panel decision comes after a fight from the Florida Police Benevolent Association and the group who supported 2 police officers after a Leon County judge ruled the victim privacy protections did not apply to law enforcement officers. So I just think that's I don't understand how police officers are ever considered victims when they have the power to de-escalate. Like that's literally your job. I watched this one video where of course on TikTok, where this girl was saying that, which I didn't know, that she was kind of having a conversation with herself and saying, well, I don't understand, why people are dying at the hands of police officers when their job is literally to serve and protect. And she was like, well, actually, it's not their job to serve and protect. A judge ruled, and I guess this has been put into play for many years ago, that there was an incident where a young lady got killed in custody, and she was supposed to be protected while in their custody. But if you're not in the police officer's custody, it is not their job to protect and to serve you. They are only supposed to be protecting and serving the people that they have in their particular custody. And so she's like, well, why do they have it on the outside of their cars? And they're like, the same reason why they have organic labels on every kind of food that's not really organic. But
I think that being a police officer is a very stressful and needed job.
Yes.
And those people within reason do need protection because it's not they're never going into a normal situation. They don't have boardrooms. They don't have so I get it. But I also think that you can't just let people run rampant and do whatever the fuck they want.
No, you can't. but you also can't run rampant and do whatever the fuck you want to too. And I think that's the biggest issue that I think
checks and balances.
It's exactly. I think that's the biggest thing with society that we are trying to get police officers to understand. You are not above the law that you help to regulate, right? Like your job is to, despite what was, said before, your job is to uphold the law. But you are also held to that same law that you are being paid to uphold. And you can't just come out here being all crazy, being all belligerent, because we even know, even as clinicians, and I won't compare our jobs to police officers because they deal with a much higher level of stress than we do, walking into situations that are not controlled, that they have no control over, right? But the reality is that even if we walk into a patient's room like we did last week and the patient was crazy belligerent, in restraints, everything else, that's still a controlled environment because he's not getting out with restraints. I mean, we're obviously stronger than him. That man just had surgery. So it's very different. But at the same time, your reaction to that patient is going to directly affect how that interaction is going to go. You go in and you try to de-escalate at all costs. You don't know what the person is dealing with. These people are on drugs, sedation meds and stuff like that. They just came out of surgery. They have no clue where the hell they are, and so your job is to reorient. Why is that not the same requirement for police officers coming into these dangerous situations? Why would you want to go into a dangerous situation with a funky ass attitude?
That's why when all the police reform shit was happening, I was like, what if there's no way we can defund the police? Who do you call when shit pops off? I need someone there.
But see, what's your definition of defunding the police? Because I think that's the biggest misconception, that people think that we shouldn't pay police officers for what they're doing, and that's not what they're saying.
No, I'm saying the same thing. I don't think we should defund. I'm like, let's take 5 years. Let's pour funding into the police department.
No.
Let's get everyone good training. Let's up the recruiting. Let's make it a kind of environment where they can say, you know what, we don't need you and we're not going to pay you for that bullshit, so you're out.
No, I disagree. Defunding the police has nothing to do with giving them more money to train, because they already have enough, and that's the problem. The problem is that they are sending police officers into these communities who are afraid of the people who have mental health disorders, and you bring a police officer to de-escalate a mental health situation that they are not actively or adequately trained for, versus if you bring in, some type of mental health therapist or something. That defunding the police is not about taking money away. It's about restructuring the way you're already funding something. So the fact, instead of spending millions upon millions of dollars on high-powered rifles and bullshit and military-grade guns and weapons to try to police, regular common people in a fucking neighborhood, how about you restructure the way you're funding all of this stuff? The fact that police officers only have to do 40 hours of training a year on shooting, like that makes no goddamn sense. You got to do more. You literally have to shoot 250 rounds just to even get your concealed weapon license. So it's not about taking money away from police officers and not feeding them, or them having the ability to feed their families. It's literally about restructuring what needs to actually happen. I mean, we can talk about that even in the education system. You're giving all of this money into certain things, and these kids still have books from 15 and 20 years ago.
Right.
That makes no sense. But I do agree with you that the training needs to be beefed up. Just as you make it more difficult for people to get guns, you need to do the same thing for police officers. Mm-hmm. Let's look at your Facebook history. Let's look at your social media history. Let's look at the people in the organizations that you have been donating to for the last 10 years, making sure they're not these right-wing, crazy, militia type groups, because you bring that fucking behavior over here, and then now you're protecting and you think you're above the law because you have a badge.
I think there's a lot of... I think that a lot of police officers do not feel like they are given the money, the recognition, the things that they deserve for the job that they're doing. And that makes a very brotherhood type environment where it's like, yeah, we have to band together because this shit's crazy and you just got to do what you got to do. Yeah. And like, that's where shit starts going south. That's where everyone's covering for each other. Yeah. And that's where things slip through. And it should be a one and done kind of situation. Yeah. This was a fuck up, and it was a big fuck up. Yeah. And, but I don't know. I don't have the answers.
It's a continued fuck up. And I think, we've had all the difficult conversations.
He had a bunch of stuff that he had done, right? Derek, whatever the fuck.
Oh yeah, he had multiple complaints on him.
This wasn't like the first time.
Yeah, I mean, because even look at our job. So Alyssa was called a dictator. Wait, was it a dictator? Yeah, you were called a dictator.
Above God and the doctor.
Yeah, and she was called a dictator by a patient, right? And I've had complaints on me like, oh my gosh, she's so mean and blah blah blah. There haven't been very many, but then you have to put it in context of who it's coming from. So I can definitely see it from the police officer standpoint when you have people in the community that are coming and saying, oh, this police officer was this, that, blah, 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 blah. The difference between us and police officers is that now you have a camcorder that is on you. Camcorder, that's so old.
Whoa.
You have a video camera. I'm showing my age. You have a video cam, a body cam that is on you at all times and supposed to be on. But the fact that you get to pick and choose when you turn it on, that's where integrity is compromised.
Because it's supposed to be protecting you and other people.
Exactly. Versus us, as medical professionals, we get to write in these medical charts, and you unfortunately, as the consumer and as the customer, you don't get to choose what we put in our files, because there are times where patients are like belligerent, they're crazy,
questionable historian.
Yes. And if everybody who encounters you have the same encounter, then obviously we're not the crazy ones. It has to be you as well too. Right. But I think this is the issue, just like you said, with these police officers who become this brotherhood, and then they cover for each other. Man, I know you're not like that. I know you're not a racist. Well, yes, the fuck he is a racist. Just like even physicians. We have horrible physicians. I don't want to say a whole bunch of horrible physicians. Every hospital has horrible physicians, right? A group of them that are just, if something happened to me in this hospital, do not let this motherfucker touch me. I think that can be said for every hospital. But even with that, even as some of us, there's one particular physician in our hospital, everybody is just like, why do they keep letting this person do surgery? Why?
He's like Dr. Death.
Exactly.
If you have not listened to the Dr. Death podcast, go listen to it right now.
Exactly. And so it's like, well, then we have an obligation too to say, we need to report this, and then we report it, and then what happens? Nothing happens, because he's protected, because he's this particular person. I think it goes the same way in the police academies and these police stations, where these people are known to be, just horrible people, and people just cover for them. Like,
oh yeah, that's so and so. That's how it is.
Exactly.
But it gets. He did this for me one time, so I'm not going to do that for him.
Exactly. He's got a wife and kids, and we got to protect this, and the brotherhood. And that's the problem. So yeah, I think it's unfortunate, but I think I agree with you that retraining absolutely needs to be in place. It needs to be more difficult for people to be able to be police officers. This whole faction about being unionized. Can you imagine if physicians and nurses and therapists, that we were all unionized?
No one would ever get fired.
Exactly. And then people will still keep killing people. And this is why sometimes unions don't need to be in place.
You need a certain level of protect. That's why in Texas you cannot sue malpractice for over $250,000.
Yep.
Because they're like, doctors need to be able to feel safe to do their job. Mm-hmm. If I think you need a surgery and I know it's risky and I've explained to you the benefit, the pros and the cons, and we decide to do it, you cannot come back on me and say...
And try to sue me.
Yeah.
Because most people coming into a surgery, they're not... Even if you gave them a paper that says, you agree that if I paralyze you in this surgery, which is a high chance that this could happen, that you cannot sue me. Nobody in their right mind is gonna fill that out. No. Even if you're the last person on earth that is agreeable to do that surgery. Like one of the surgeons that we have at our hospital, he's phenomenal, world-renowned aortic dissection physician, right? But this man takes cases that no one else in the United States will take.
Yeah.
Like he has nothing but high-risk surgeries, and it's like, you're going to survive this surgery, but will you be paralyzed?
You might not be 100%. Exactly. But you'll be alive.
Exactly. But and he explains it so thoroughly to his patients. These are all of the different things that can happen, because even when we see them, they're just like, yeah, he told me that this was a possibility. Do you think it'll come back, or you think I'll be able to walk, or blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And we're just like, it just takes time. We won't really know until,
But then again, there is the understanding that this doctor is trying to preserve my function, preserve my life, not do any harm.
Exactly.
And that should be the same thing with the police.
Absolutely.
You have these protections because it is everyone's understanding that when you go into these situations, your job is to de-escalate, protect and serve the people, the people at large. So if this one person is going to hurt, harm, negatively affect a larger group of people, then use force if you need to within reason.
Right.
But if you're in a situation where it's already de-escalated, they're not going to do anything. It's handled.
If you have somebody okay, here's the thing: if you have somebody in handcuffs already,
unless they have some mutant ass strength.
That's what I'm saying. Even if I don't care if this person is spitting on you, trying to kick their legs, they're already restrained to a certain degree. We literally had to hold down. Again, I'm not comparing the two, but I'm just giving an example. Myself and one of my coworkers, an OT, had to hold down this man's arms while they were putting in a Dobhoff, which is like a smaller form of an NG tube into the nose to give you nourishment, blah, 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 right? Because he was not eating. This man just had surgery, but is so freaking strong. It took 4 of us to hold him down to get this damn thing in his nose. And they still weren't even successful at getting it done. Now, obviously in that situation, he is in a position where he's doing more harm to himself than we are because you're fighting against us, right? So you can get hurt. So we got to say, okay, let's try for 5 seconds. If you don't get it in 5 seconds, we got to stop. Yeah. We can try multiple times, but let's not make this cat and mouse game where then we put his life in jeopardy. But even in this video, specifically with George Floyd, I mean, so many other videos that have occurred where people are literally in handcuffs and police officers will karate kick them in the fucking head. What sense does that make? That's intentional. That's not de-escalation. I don't care if they calling your mama a bald head ass, buck tooth mouth ass hoe. You know your mama ain't that. So why are you listen, sticks and stones, motherfucker. Sticks and stones.
Had to pass a psych eval.
Thank you. But the problem is most of these police officers are these dudes that have been shoved in lockers in high school and they're like, I'm gonna show you I'm tough. And that's what you're dealing with.
Motherfucker.
Exactly. That's what you're dealing with. People who were powerless as children and they bring that trauma onto the force and they fuck it up for everybody else. And then you have to sit here and, well, all police officers aren't bad. Well, all people that you arrest aren't bad either.
Which sucks because there are such good cops.
Yes, they are.
There are people who are so good at just being like, hey, dude, this is about to get real fucked up. So I suggest you either cool it, calm the fuck down, or we're gonna have an issue. And I'm gonna
yeah,
those kind of, or like those nice white cops you see in New Orleans who are always playing with the black kids. I love that. Those videos, I love them.
Okay, that's I won't even go into that, but
don't.
But even when I got pulled over a couple of years ago, I was going to this is here in Texas, and I was going to my kinesio taping class, and I was rushing because I'm always not always late, but I just didn't really want to go anyway because the class was pretty early. So I was speeding, and I think I was going about 55. I was going about
99 and a 30.
No, I was going 55 and a 40, and he politely got in the street and was like, "Yeah, bitch, come on over." And it was like 3 other cars that he pulled over, and so when he finally got to me, I had my open carry license, and I also gave him my actual license, and then he was like, "Good morning, ma'am." I was like, how are you, officer? Good morning. And he's like, "Ma'am, did you realize that you were speeding?" And I was like, "Absolutely." There was no need for me to lie at that point. Yeah. Because again, your reaction also warrants another reaction.
I would like mutual respect.
Yes. And I literally said to him, okay, now he had a just cause for pulling me over. That's very different than, God forbid, he would have just pulled me over just because I'm driving in a nice neighborhood with my car. I don't drive a raggedy car, but I'm just saying, if I was in this particular area and I didn't have a Tesla or a Mercedes or some shit like that, and you're just pulling me over, well, where are you going tonight? None of your fucking business, bitch. And if you say that, you're already escalating the situation. But then 2, it's their job to stop profiling people. Just stop doing that.
And it also sucks because how I feel like they deal with, it's kind of like in the hospital, we're so used to dealing with the same shit that way we have not short tempers, but we become impatient easily in certain situations because we're like, listen, dude, you had a stroke, your arm might not work a little bit, but the motherfucker down the hall literally lost function of his entire right side of his body and half of his brain, so we gotta get it. So I feel like when you pop off at a cop like that, they're like, I've already seen this before, I'm not dealing with it because I know it can go bad real quick. And they don't know what you could have been like, I'm not doing this because I've dealt with asshole cops my whole life. Yeah, absolutely. And then if you hangry or got a boo-boo as a police officer, first of all, you got all this stuff, and you just like, listen, bitch, I'm just trying to write you this ticket real quick. Come on now. I don't have time for this, and now I got to put your ass in handcuffs and beat you across the back of the head because I got to do and I couldn't get back to the station because you over here tripping. The cops are just hungry and need a shit. They're eating the wrong things. That's part of the problem. They're not just eating donuts either, but goddamn it, donuts are good. But yeah, so anyway, we'll see what happens with regard to this trial, and with the amount of expert testimony that has been going on. We're just praying that the outcome is that this man will be charged to the fullest extent of the law and that he will serve out the rest of his days in prison. Fullest extent. Damn it. All right, let's just take a quick break and we'll be right back. This episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler is sponsored by myapothecary.com. My Apothecary is the premier online destination for hemp-derived CBD that will help you curate a wealthy lifestyle. CBD is one of many restorative compounds found in the cannabis plant. Its benefits include decreased pain, improved mood, decreased anxiety, and much more. Some of y'all know that I have crazy ADHD, so I'm heavily medicated at all times, and I've been taking CBD oil at night to kind of calm me down, get me ready for bed. 10/10 would recommend.
Worried about regulations? The passing of the 2018 Farm Bill made hemp-derived CBD legal to sell and consume. So yes, CBD is 100% legal and perfect for every person of legal age. My Apothecary's featured line, Broad Bloom, offers broad-spectrum CBD oil drops, sports cream, and soft gels. These products have no THC, so you can stay fly without the high or zen without the spin. Shop now at www.myapothecary.com and sign up for their newsletter to get exclusive offers, product releases, and CBD news.
Remember to always check with your healthcare provider before consuming any supplement. You must be 21 to purchase and consume, and shipping is only available in the US of A.
Don't forget to shop at www.myapothecary.com. But anyway, in other news, so the state of Florida, specifically Governor Ron DeSantis, who is the governor of Florida, he is suing the CDC over a non-sale order. So you know how a lot of places have been getting back to normal, you know, with regard to COVID, even though we're still in a pandemic, it is not declared over. So the CDC basically has, they initially issued a no-sale order on March the 14th, 2020. And it was following, obviously, the surge of the COVID-19 cases that were on these cruise ships. And the restriction basically...
Listen, I'm smart, but what is a no-sell order?
Basically, you cannot sail any large ships out of the docks from like Miami or Fort Lauderdale or anything like that.
Sell the ships themselves or like tickets on ships?
No, the ships themselves cannot sail out.
Sail.
What do you think? SAIL.
I thought you...
They can't buy ships? No.
Are they trying to get rid of all their ships?
No.
Sail, like no sailing.
Sail.
Like
yes, they cannot sail.
The cruise ships are stopped.
Yes, the cruise ships are stopped.
Because that's how this shit fucking got started in the first place.
Yeah, so they cannot... Most of like cruises are docked out of Miami.
Yes.
So the cruise
My Alaska cruise got canceled.
Yes. So the cruise ships cannot sail out, SAIL, to go to these different areas and stuff. And again, the CDC issued this no sale order from last year, March 14th.
They're losing some money, honey.
They are. And that's why DeSantis is suing. And he's saying that he claims that the CDC does not have the authority to halt the cruise industry. He claims that the no sale order violates the Administrative Procedure Act for being arbitrary and capricious.
I hate when that happens.
I'll just say for being arbitrary and failing to go through the formal notice and comment. So here's the thing. The cruise line industry, actually my cousin, she works for a big cruise line.
Bitch, we ain't going on no cruise? I mean, not that we can now, but.
Right. But she does. She's like pretty high up in the HR
we'll
area.
We'll talk later.
Yes. So she works for a cruise line and has been working for them for a few years. And there's a lot of different things that actually go on. The problem is that in the state of Florida or in South Florida, a lot of people who come for their cruises, they stay in these hotels, they go to restaurants.
It's all tourism.
It's all tourism. And the problem is,
you fly into Miami a couple days.
Right. And even the flights to Miami and stuff, people are not flying in to be able to go on cruises and stuff like that. So it's really halting a lot of these small business owners and a lot of the business that's in South Florida. So he's suing the CDC for basically making this mandate. But I'm just like, DeSantis, you don't care about the people. You clearly care about the money because cruise ships are still going.
But so my thing is, how can they say no cruises when flights are still flying and all this other shit is still happening?
Because it's very different for flights versus cruises, because you got to remember the crew stays on the ship at all times. So you have thousands of crew members that are living in quarters. And then two, these areas are significantly smaller when you talk about, like, you know, the kitchen and all that kind of stuff, the casinos, blah, 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 all the stuff that you do on there, the stores, they're in much more tight quarters. Also too, you're staying on these boats for like days and weeks at a time versus a flight can be 30 minutes to an hour, and you can come in there and clean real quick.
Half capacity, strict guideline kind of thing, not a we're not doing that shit at all kind of thing.
I agree. I agree that there could be some type of compromise, because like you said, the airlines, even when you walk in and take a flight, I've taken a flight during this pandemic, and when I went in, they were all right, stay 6 feet apart. But then when you line up to go on the plane, everybody's like,
right there next to it. Disney World is open. Like everything is open. Hotels are cracking. Everyone's just trying to make it work because people need to work and people need money.
Absolutely.
So I do understand, because cruises was the big one when it first happened.
Because they had to stay on. They had to
Remember,
stay
everyone was stuck on the boats. Yeah, no one could get off. But I just feel like there's ways to make strict regulation. I don't know.
Yeah,
the CDC was just like, nope.
Yeah, because even my cousin, who again works for the cruise line, one of our major cruise lines, she's been working this entire time. She has not stopped working, even to when they did like these mock trial cruise sailing ships or whatever to try to figure out how they could best go about doing it.
I would have loved to be R&D for that.
I mean, I think I want to say the name is the Asian cruise line. I can't remember the actual name, but they were going out of like Asia and like Germany first to try to, test it out just to kind of see how they could effectively do it. But like I said, I definitely think that it is there's a way to compromise with it, but South Florida is losing a lot of money. And that's why a lot of people, when they came down there for spring break and was shutting shit down, a lot of the business owners were mad because they were like, listen, we're making back some of our money. And
it's hard being a small business owner.
It
right
really,
now.
especially in Miami Beach, where these are heavy tourist attractions, just like even the islands, you're telling people that they can't come into your country when you rely so heavily on tourist money. But at the same time, you got to protect everybody because you don't have the infrastructure to afford a breakout. That'll be like a mass casualty.
That's why everything's happening in California. No one's surviving that shit. Small business wise.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because they were just like, nope, you're done here.
Yeah, California is their infrastructure is very shaky.
Give the businesses a chance. I get that we have to be safe, make regulation crazy, and make the mask mandate, and make you can only eat outside, but you got to give them something.
Right, very true. Yeah, it's insane. But even piggybacking off that with regard to like the shortage of like cruise ships and stuff, did you hear that there is a shortage on ketchup packets?
Bitch. First of all, let's talk about ketchup packets.
Yeah, there's a national shortage of ketchup packets.
What kind of ketchup do you fuck with?
Only Heinz.
Heinz? What do you think is a superior to-go ketchup? If you had to pick one place.
I would say McDonald's. I haven't been to McDonald's in probably like 10, 12 years, but definitely McDonald's because they give you a handful of fucking ketchup packets.
I'm glad you said that. There is something about the McDonald's ketchup.
Yeah.
It's not regular.
No, it's straight from Heinz.
There's something different. I don't know. Someone write in, let me know. There's something different about the McDonald's ketchup. I don't know if it's sweeter.
It probably has more salt.
Something. It's better than regular ketchup, especially with those fries. It just hits.
But you know what? I think that they do because Heinz, here's the thing. Heinz is responsible for Kraft Heinz is responsible for over 70% of the United States ketchup.
That's a monopoly.
Listen, what's her name? What's her name? Oh, Jesus. Arnold Schwarzenegger's ex-wife, Maria Shriver. But she's a Heinz.
She's a Heinz.
She's a Heinz. Her parents are a Heinz. Let me double check. Hold on.
Dude, that's a ketchup monopoly. Fuck.
What you say her name was again?
Maria Shriver.
I think it's Heinz Shriver.
I do really love Whataburger spicy ketchup too. I will put that out there. They do a good job. But Chick-fil-A has the Heinz ketchup that's in the square package. It does not taste the same as McDonald's.
Yes, her first okay, wait, hold on.
Oh, she married a Heinz.
Wait
Smart
a minute,
girl.
Maria Kennedy Shriver, yes.
She's a Kennedy too?
I don't know if she's a real Kennedy. I don't know. But John Kerry's tycoon wife who inherited her first husband's Heinz ketchup. Yeah, she's a Heinz person.
Wow.
Yes.
I like her
I
more.
think. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
I like that.
Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, I thought she was a Shriver.
A Shriver. She's a Shriner.
A Heinz person. Anyway, so yeah, doesn't matter. She knows some friends. She's part of the Heinz. Who cares? Anyway, but yes, so they are literally running out of ketchup packets, and it's because when they shut everything down last year, there has been this, surge of people using DoorDash and Uber Eats and stuff like that, and
individually packaged.
Yes.
Everyone shut down.
Exactly.
Self-serve.
Yeah. So the ketchup actually the sales the price of ketchup packets from last year increased 13%, and the sales of ketchup bottles increased 15% from last year.
Wow. If I could go back in time, I'd start investing in things that were individually packaged. And like fast food companies.
Absolutely. Because
things that will never go under.
But you know what? Even McDonald's, they'll stinking asses. I don't know if they still do this because again, I haven't eaten their food in like 10, 12 years.
They used to just let you take handfuls of ketchup.
They did. But even like the barbecue sauce, they'd be like 25 cents per barbecue sauce.
Do you remember when they started really enforcing that shit? And they'd be like, you get 2 sauces for 6 nuggets. I said, bitch, good and damn well I need a sauce per nugget.
I got a 20 pack and you gonna give me 2 sauces?
It ain't right. But you'll give me a whole handful of ketchup.
Yeah.
It ain't right.
But the thing is, knowing good and well, you got barbecue sauce and ketchup at the house, but for some reason, like you said, it just don't taste the same.
It's not the same. You know how their soda stream is more carbonated?
Oh, yeah.
And the straw is like engineered to let more bubbles in so the soda tastes better. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you there's something about that ketchup.
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
All of those sauces.
I think every fast food restaurant has their own version of the Heinz ketchup. I'm quite sure they do, because the ketchup at Chick-fil-A is very different from the ketchup at
It's not
McDonald's.
good.
It's not.
It's not.
This is why people use Chick-fil-A sauce, the Polynesian
because
sauce.
the ketchup ain't it over there.
No, it's not. Their ketchup is disgusting. I don't even use ketchup at Chick-fil-A. I only use Polynesian sauce on my fries.
McDonald's at this point is more chemistry than actual food, but I'm gonna take it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially if there's something about being in an airport. I'm like, I need McDonald's.
Yeah, definitely. Their ketchup is definitely 100% the best.
McDonald's on the way home.
Oh Jesus. Burger King actually has okay ketchup, but it's not the same. It's not as superior as McDonald's. But anyway, so last thing we're going to talk about before we go into social media stuff, the Arkansas governor, Asa Hutchinson, actually recently vetoed a bill that bans transgender reassignment surgeries and other treatments for transgender youth. As you know, we talked about on our podcast a couple of episodes ago that Arkansas actually had this original bill that he signed stating that or banning transgender girls and women from participating in sports aligning with their chosen gender, but he had to he felt like he had to veto this bill that was coming into action, which is the House Bill 1570, which again, the bill banned transgender youth from receiving gender reassignment surgeries and other treatments. He basically said, I signed the veto today, and I have been notified the sponsors as well as the leadership of the House and Senate as well. He also said, if this bill becomes law, we are creating new standards of legislative interference with physicians and parents as they deal with some of the most complex and sensitive matters dealing with the young people. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think the government should have a say over what I can and can't do with my body. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure, because I'm also an adult person. I don't have any kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. You should be able to do what you want with your kids, right? In general.
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to direct their medical care. But also, that's like, I don't know.
Well, here's my issue. So I get it from a medical standpoint that maybe there are some things as a youth that you should not be going through surgically because you're not finished with puberty yet. Mm-hmm. And if you get these certain surgeries, certain things could happen, right? But my question becomes, you know how girls when they get pregnant, that they are emancipated, right? And at the gynecologist, these girls are now emancipated and they can make decisions for themselves, right? Will that apply, or is there something in place that helps transgender youth do the same thing? Where if you have made the conscious decision, you've gone through whatever counseling you needed to per your state or whatever the case may be, or you and your parents are on board with it, are you now considered an emancipated minor where you can make decisions for yourself without the consent now of your parent? Because like I said, once you get pregnant as a teenage girl, you are now technically an adult. So you can make whatever decisions. Your parents cannot make decisions for you whatsoever. Even in the case of just gynecologically speaking, you are emancipated.
But I mean, how much shit had to pop off for that legislation to pass?
Girls were literally having abortions with fucking wire hangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how bad does this have to get? Or, how crazy do these outcomes have to be?
You're gonna have little boys cutting off their penises and girls trying to cut off their breasts with fucking kitchen knives.
Ouch. It's like an X-Men when he cuts off his wings.
That was horrible. Oof. But I mean, I think that was a big thing for the governor of Arkansas, because that is still considered the South. And what president does this? I don't know. You know what I mean? How you when something becomes legislation, it like, you don't know the ripple effects that it has. Like, what will this do? I mean, I think
if it's signed into, I don't know.
Well, he vetoed it, so it won't be signed in.
I'm just saying. But if you have to think about shit like that.
And
that's why I'm not a governor.
The fact that he said that, this would interfere with physician and patient, decisions, as well as, parents already having to deal with a complex issue of you having this baby boy and then they tell you at 11 or 12, I'm a girl. That's already complex enough. And then you supporting them and then a doctor saying, well, I'm sorry, it's illegal for me to perform this surgery. I mean, it's just like abortions. You have a girl that goes out here and gets raped, unfortunately, and then you're telling her that she has to keep this child and this reminder of her assault. Like, that's fucking stupid. Like, I mean, I think it's a very difficult decision, but I think I want to hear from the medical professionals who do gender reassignment surgery already on adults and what their thoughts are on doing it on children. Because again, if a 10-year-old comes to you and says, I want to get my penis cut off, wait a minute, you ain't even done growing yet. Okay.
I want to hear from the psychiatrist, the sociologist.
Oh yeah.
The psychologist.
I thought you said that already.
Psychiatrist,
Psychologist, and so
anyone who deals with some mental health shit.
Yeah.
I want to hear
Yeah.
your experiences, because I feel like parents are very biased towards their child. Your child's screaming for help. They want this thing done right.
Yeah.
You're willing to. I want to hear like, I counseled this person through this gender reassignment. This was the outcome. Or
Yeah.
I counseled this person who wanted gender reassignment. They didn't get it. This is what I want to hear. That.
But I think it ultimately falls back on the physician performing the surgery, because again, if some kids are not done growing by the age of 17, and you're talking about at 14 you want to get rid of your breast or whatever the case may be, you're not done growing. Puberty is not over yet. So what are you really damaging on a medical level? You know, even kids who break their when they break their leg and they're, that growth plate. Exactly. So it's like you have issues like that where kids, start having those growing pains and stuff like that. So it's like, from a medical standpoint, what are the damages that could happen of getting gender reassignment surgery, and what is the lowest age that you can safely do it? I think if they had medical professionals, which I'm not sure if they do or not, but I think if you had the medical opinion of physicians who do this on a regular basis, maybe they can help guide these bills so that these bills are now done safely.
No, I agree. That's important. I just don't care about it. I want to hear from the mental health professionals. But
the mental professionals won't matter if the physicians are saying this is not medically safe.
No, I know. I just personally want to know what that journey looks, sounds, feels like, and like 10-year check-in. I want to know how they're doing after.
I think they should have to do check-ins though, especially for children. I think, do you feel like you made the right decision? Are you still happy with your body? What do how have you been getting feedback from society?
Because again, big fucking decision, and it's not just you, it's entire society. It's how they interact with you. It's paperwork you have to fill out. It's your everyday. It's a lot. Yeah,
because then you get to change your birth certificate. Now you have to redo everything.
So on one side, I'm sure they're saying like, well, why wouldn't I make this change before I go through all this crazy puberty? If we can just reassign it now, you live your life, you're this person you want to be. But that's like fairy tale situation.
Because it's the maturity level mentally. Like you can, kids change their mind all the time. Like, kids go through this. Oh, I'm gay. No, I'm not no more. It was just a phase. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different, I definitely think that maturity comes into play, that, guides and rules this type of stuff.
I'm not having children in the next 20 years.
You're going to have kids. It's totally fine. All right. So what's been going on in social media?
All right. Did you hear about the reigning Miss World that got arrested?
No.
Okay. So,
as Jabria would say, yes.
Let me fact check myself. So they were crowning the new Miss World.
Yeah.
And
is that the black girl? No, she was Miss something. I don't know. There's too many of them damn titles.
They were doing the Miss World pageant. The reigning Miss Sri Lanka 2019. Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing the new Miss Sri Lanka 2020. She won, and this girl went and ripped the fucking crown off of her head.
And she was drunk while doing that? I hope so.
No, she said it was because... So anyway, she was arrested for assault, but she said that the new Miss World was ineligible for the prize because she was divorced, and that the rules stipulate all contestants have to be married. Because again, we're in Sri Lanka. And so... she's estranged from her husband, but the other one's still legally married. So she said she can't be it. So she ripped the fucking crown off her head.
Sounds like she needs to mind her own fucking business.
That's what I'm saying.
And you're mad because you lost to something. I don't know.
Now you're arrested for assault.
Yeah, that's just so dumb. That's so dumb.
Love the drama though.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of drama with the Kardashians.
Oh God.
Chloe, someone posted...
No, not someone. Her damn grandma.
Grandma posted a picture of Chloe that was unretouched, unedited of her body, which still, she has a good butt. Like, she works out all the time. She doesn't eat. She's had plastic surgery.
I'm sorry. She doesn't work out all the time. She paid for that body.
Okay. She had plastic surgery, doesn't eat, and continues to work out on top of all of that. She has a nice body, but it wasn't, tanned, retouched, and fucking face tuned.
Who cares?
So she had everyone trying to take it down as soon as possible, and everyone's
That's
like,
insane.
talking all this shit. But I'm like...
I heard she's getting like people's social media accounts like suspended until they take it down. And I'm like, girl, like,
Let it
how much
fucking
money
go.
are you making? First of all, your sister Kim got a way better body than you. Okay.
First of all, we all saw when you were really chunky.
Thank you.
We know what that shit looks like.
So why did you erase all those pictures versus some picture where you got cellulite?
She was like, it's just really hard when you work hard on your body like I do on mine, and then the picture is unflattering and you don't want it all over social media. And I'm like,
ma'am,
your sister has a video of a fucking dick in her mouth. So excuse me if you have one bad picture posted and you look a little flabby, you'll be okay.
Why you had to say shit?
She did.
She did. And never mind. But the thing is, you're mad at the wrong people, man. Be mad at your grandma, bitch ass, who posted your picture and then it just went viral. You need to blame your grandma.
The conversation has turned into, we just have these horrible standards for women's bodies and da da da.
Oh,
she made the fucking standard.
Exactly.
This family has made the body standard because they all had their fucking fat sucked out of their stomach and thrown into their ass.
Because their body's not even real.
If she had kept her real body, no one will be having this conversation.
Right. Kylie was out here with these small ass duck lips and then came out and got all this fucking plastic surgery and got fat put to her ass. And now y'all are just like, I've worked so hard. You didn't work hard on shit. Your plastic surgeon worked hard on your body.
And now you post yourself working out so that we don't quote unquote catch on.
Exactly. It's just like even like these like workout gurus who have gotten butt shots and whatnot, and they're just like, squats and blah blah blah. I remember this one girl, I can't remember her name, but I used to follow her, and when I found that out, I stopped following her. I mean, she didn't convince me to go to the gym anyway, because this is why I'm still obese, but whatever. She literally came out and her butt shots went bad. And she had to get surgery and had to take them out. And she was like, yeah, there's so many of y'all favorite gurus that got butt shots and all this other kind of stuff. That's not natural. But you have a lot of natural girls who have spent years in the gym sculpting their bodies. And you come out and you're just like, oh, I'm so beautiful. And this is the picture is unfiltered. You're a fucking unfiltered
There's
lie.
some things that aren't attainable naturally.
Yes.
And I do understand if you're a fucking fitness person and you're working out every day in the gym and you're like, God damn it, dude, nothing I do will get rid of this 5 pounds or will shake my ass like that. And you're like, I have the money. I might as well just make myself look good.
Well, even like man boobs. I mean, certain men, if you gain a whole shit ton of weight, you will never lose your man boobs. And you may have to go and get that cosmetically done. But I think it's good to tell other men, hey, I was not able to successfully get rid of this. I had to just cut all the skin off, but you can still do this stuff naturally. You know what I mean?
There's
but don't try to lie about it.
nothing wrong with paying to look how the fuck you want to look.
Definitely not.
First of all, have you used that duck lip filter on Instagram?
No, because I got big ass lips already.
All right, I have. I look beautiful with plastic surgery. It has only propelled me to want to get more.
Well, ma'am, you have black lips.
I know, but they do the filler in the cheek and the filler in the lip. I look like I have Botox in my forehead. I'll have to show you a video. I'm beautiful.
Oh, you're beautiful now.
Oh my God, thank you, but we could do better. Anyway, all I'm saying is you should be able to pay to do what you want to your body if you really want to, but you cannot market yourself as this natural fitness person or having this natural body or doing all this shit, because there's impressionable people.
And the thing is too, I don't care how much plastic surgery you get. You don't just get a plastic surgery and then it's like a one and done. You're always going to have to keep maintaining it because you're fighting against the one thing that everybody will at some point in time succumb to, which is fucking age and gravity. So as you get older, shit is going to drop. Like you can't negate that. Like, I mean, it's disgusting. Anyway, these fucking people just fucking disappear. God damn. Anyway.
Yeah, that's like with all the BBLs now. People are like, yes, bitch, get a BBL if you want to. And then the other side is like, but why do you have to have a BBL? That's just the male gaze.
But I think some women, here's the thing about BBLs that I don't have a problem with. There are a lot of people who go out in this world and who have flat asses, okay? Even as black women or people of color, right? And when you put on jeans, you look like fucking SpongeBob, okay? That's not my issue because I got a big ass. And I also got big thighs, but that's from my family. Now, my older sister, she don't have hips like me and my other sister does. So if she wanted to go and get a BBL, I don't see anything wrong with that. Just like if I wanted to go and get lipo, why would there be anything wrong with me wanting to get lipo?
This was Martin's dream.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
I'm just saying.
Because Coretta Scott King had some hips, okay? You can look at her daughters. They all got button hips and thighs, okay? But yeah, I don't think that there's anything wrong with plastic surgery. Do whatever makes you feel good about yourself. I don't care if you're even getting it done for your man because you want your man to be who gives a shit. I don't really care. Go ahead and do you. Just do it safely, but don't come at me trying to make yourself the standard of beauty when you pay for that shit because it's not real. Yeah. I don't judge you for doing it because I don't know if that I would go and get lipo. Nah, I'm afraid for surgery. I don't want to do that.
I would do
if I wasn't
it,
afraid
but
of
not
surgery,
if I was
would do
over
it.
35.
Fuck you, bitch. I'm 36.
You can't do it then.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm just afraid of, I don't know, sedation and shit.
Bitch, I'm not 70. I mean, damn.
I don't know what'll happen. How old was Kanye's
I
mom?
don't even have a geriatric uterus right now. God damn.
Okay, let's say 45.
Shonda, what was her name? Rhonda. Rhonda was like in her late 50s.
Rhonda Shimes.
Rhonda Shimes. She was like in her late 50s, early 60s or something. I think, no, let's say not 60s. I think she was in her late 50s. But she also had another medical condition.
Okay, if you're healthy, here's the thing. Talk to your doctor. I'll fucking know.
Exactly.
If your doctor says you can get
Talk
lipo,
about
get
over
lipo.
35. You are such a fucking ageist. I hate you.
I just can't even
podcast.
imagine being 35. Wow.
Shut up. That's all right. I'm 35 and I still can move.
I wish it was 35.
Relatively okay. No, you don't, because your knees gonna go.
Oh no, I think it's my hips first. I got some tight ass hips.
Yeah. Your hips and knees, they go together. You're gonna lose them both together. All right, what else was going on before we get to the rehab?
Travis Barker got Courtney's name tattooed on him. You don't care about that.
No, I hate when people get. Okay, here's the thing about tattoos. I have 4 fat tattoos.
I have 4 tattoos,
Oh my
baby.
gosh, I have 4 tattoos. Right? Do
Left.
not get people's names on you.
Yeah.
Just don't.
I heard it's so painful to remove tattoos.
If it is. If it's your kids, that should be, or your parent or your sibling.
Someone who's not going anywhere.
Right. Someone who is attached to you by blood.
Someone who can't legally have paperwork drawn up to leave your ass.
Even when people put initials like on their ring finger, on their
Oh, my
wedding finger,
cousins did
just
that.
don't
They're
do
divorced.
that. Just that's what I'm saying. Just don't put other people's names on you that are not blood. Just don't do that. Unless it's like a friend who died, understandably, because they ain't gonna do shit to you to come back.
Because they're not here no more.
Exactly.
Yeah, so his name, they're together. That's fun. Love that. They're gonna make a live action Powerpuff Girls series. I don't know how you feel about Powerpuff Girls. Was that a thing for you?
I think I was in high school when that came out, but I know who they are though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Did that come out at the same time as Kim Possible?
No.
Okay, don't worry about it. But I know who Powerpuff Girls are.
Yeah.
Because there's like a green one and a pink one. But
And
they
a
have like
blue
the hair.
one.
Yeah.
Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. Yeah.
Oh, that's their names.
Yeah. Oh my God.
BBB. I was already in high school when that
That's
came out.
insane, dude.
Yeah. I was already in high
They're
school.
making a live action film. Dove Cameron's gonna be in it.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. We'll keep that. It's gonna be on the CW. I fucking stand the CW. I love all the shit they do.
Well,
I just like love trash teen drama romance.
Just
shit.
get the wigs right.
Yeah. She's a big wig girl, so I'm assuming it'll be a good wig.
They need to get Alonzo to do their wigs, because that young man, good God Almighty, he does wonders with a lace and some glue. I'm just like, man, if I wore lace fronts, I would definitely go to him, but I probably couldn't afford to get no lace front from him, because he's very expensive.
Yeah, that's some like
But he's worth it.
$1,500 Beyonce wig. You know what
Exactly. Yeah. I get too hot. I don't got time for all that.
I mean? I get itchy
yeah,
easily.
definitely.
Like irritated.
I wore a wig to graduation from PC school, and I was like, this was the dumbest idea. I should have just did my fucking hair. It was so hot. I was so ready to just like rip it off my head.
Especially, I can't believe in Texas, a wig couldn't be me.
Yeah, and then I had a bang at that, and it
Not
was
the
in
bang.
May. I had a bang in the month of May. It was the worst. I was like, I should have just got a sew-in, but I was procrastinating. Anyway, neither here nor
I
there.
know nothing about wigs. I've never worn a wig. Open to it though.
Yeah, they're hot. Don't wear it to work.
Oh no!
don't
Yeah,
wear
I
them.
like my hair being dirty as shit at work.
Yeah. All right. So what have you been watching?
What have I been watching? I've been reading. I haven't been watching like
Really?
probably Bridgerton for the 3rd time. I just put it on in the background.
I've been watching a few different things. I saw Seaspiracy, which was a very good documentary on Netflix.
Like the new Blackfish, right?
Yes, it's about the fishing industry and how we're basically killing our world by killing whales.
Save
and
the whales.
fish.
Y'all, people have been trying to save the whales for a hot ass minute.
But they're not really trying to save them. They just want money. And that's the problem. Because did you know that, and maybe you guys in the audience don't know this, whale sperm is directly responsible for the health and life of the coral reef.
See, that's some spunk I can stand behind.
But they keep killing the whales because the whales eat the tuna, and the tuna is very expensive. And so they're killing these whales at an alarming rate for that purpose. Versus like, the Inuit people, when they eat beluga and things of that nature,
Don't they eat it all?
they do eat it all. And that's the thing. That's a difference between them and like the fishing industry. Inuit people eat every single part
And then
of
they
the
use
whale.
the bones for shit.
Yes,
Do whales
they
have
don't
bones?
waste it. They do. I think they're flexible
It
bones.
sounds right
but-
to me. Cartilage.
Yeah, cartilage. Yes, but they utilize every piece of the whale. They don't throw anything back. So You don't be wasteful.
Inuit is the politically correct term for what some people, not us on this podcast, would call Eskimos. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. But they're indigenous. Some people may call them indigenous Eskimo, but they are
Native
Inuit.
Alaskan people.
Native Alaska, absolutely.
Okay.
But they are Inuit. Yes. Okay. And so I watched Seaspiracy, and it was a great documentary. I, for one, didn't feel guilty about anything with regard to fish and shrimp and all that stuff because I don't eat seafood. Even before I became a vegetarian, I don't eat seafood. I mean, the most I would eat is like tuna in a can, chicken by the sea. Is this chicken or fish?
So if I pay for the expensive tuna in a can that says it's safe catch,
that's not real.
Oh, I'm pissed
because they're lobbying out their logo in exchange for money. So when you see things like sustainably caught, that's not true.
I'm upset.
And this man, I mean, had video footage. He flew all the way, like, cause he's from the UK. He flew all the way to like Taiwan. He went to China. He went to Japan. I mean, he went everywhere. And you know, China and Japan has a very big like market for seafood. And this, I mean, just the amount of fish that they kill and throw back into the sea. It's like, well, what, God damn it, if you're going to kill them, just eat them. Like, why would you just dump them like that? Damn. But yeah, the more whales that they're killing, and whales and dolphin, their semen is directly responsible for the life of the coral reef, because the coral reef eats the semen, right? But then they also, too, don't give off a whole bunch of carbon. So, you know, we put carbon in the air from fossil fuels, but if the sea is running out of things to eat, they're going to release carbon. So you're getting carbon from both sides, from underwater and from above in the air.
Human jizz is so fucking trash.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything special.
I mean, it creates life.
Other than that, like, they're fucking reducing carbon emissions.
That's very true. We don't do anything.
Damn.
Sorry.
I'm fucking... Men are overrated.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you. I also watched over the weekend... oh, fuck. What was that damn movie? What was the fucking movie?
Oh, I wrote it down. Here. College admission scandal.
Oh, yes. So I watched the college admission scandal. First of all, this documentary pissed me off so bad because white people love to talk shit about people of color and affirmative action getting into these schools, and meanwhile y'all are paying millions of dollars to get y'all dumbass fucking kids
because you gave my spot to a black kid who didn't deserve it and only got into school because they're black.
And then your kid walking around here with a fucking 11 on the ACT, and you talking about, oh well, Becky deserves to go to USC. No, the fuck Becky doesn't, because at least Tyrone got a fucking 18.
Yeah,
I mean, goddamn. But yeah, I mean, this man was literally falsifying their sports career and stuff, saying that they were playing, you know, all these sports that really kind of go under the radar, like sailing, crew,
white, you know, fucking sports.
Exactly, that nobody else is
Ain't
doing.
no black people sailing shit.
Exactly.
Ain't no black people rowing crew.
No, we don't like water. Okay, that's transatlantic slave. No, not doing it. So he
Spent
basically
too much time on the water.
Exactly. He'd been doing this for like 20 years and over 20 years, and he did it under the guise of this kind of college counseling program that he created to help you fill out applications and get scholarships. But it was really about, the more money your rich ass parents can give me, I can get you through this back door, right? And he also too had like ACT and SAT proctors that were there to say, oh, okay, well, if you get your child tested to say they have a learning disability or they need more time for this test, then he had his own proctor that would come in and not help you cheat, but he would bubble in the right answers for you depending on what score of the ACT or the SAT that you said you wanted to get. Wow. So of course your dumbass kids are like, oh my God, I got a 1550 on my SAT. No, bitch, you probably got a 500, but this man fixed your shit. Like, that has to be pretty shitty. And that's probably why a lot of these kids flunk out, because you already were dumb enough and couldn't get into school by yourself.
Well, that's my thing with affirmative action, because everyone gets so upset. Oh, they're taking these spots. But like, once you get in, affirmative action doesn't fucking help you for shit.
No, it does not.
So if you can't stay in the school, that spot's going to be right the fuck back open.
Exactly. In another semester.
Or if you can't afford it, which a lot of people of color can't.
Yep, that's very true. And I mean, these parents were given like donating $2 million to the sailing team, and then this man was pocketing like $500,000 just to get your child in. Like, it's insane. He was paying like the SAT and ACT proctor like $10,000 per test that he would do, and because he was this, you know, professor, and he tried to, you know, do better and just get more things or whatever for his family. And the way it all came down was because one black man trying to save his ass. He was the
he said, I'm not going to jail for these white people.
But the thing is, the FBI was investigating him on taking bribes from other people, and he was like, yo, FBI, there's this other dude that's doing some way more foul shit than me.
Shit.
So if you let me go, I'll drop the dime on this bitch because he been trying to get me for years. And so that man sold him out, and that's how the whole what's her name, Lori Loughlin and Felicity Hoffman shit kind of went down. They just got caught in the crossfire. But
the kind of wealth that I aspire to have is let me pay $1 million to this school to get my kid in type of wealth, and it won't even register to my bank account.
Because the kids are trying to get into college not to actually do anything with their lives. They just want to be able to wear the sweatshirts.
Yeah, they want to be with the rest of their friends, going to college at a cool ass school, doing some cool ass shit.
I have Hillman College paraphernalia right now. That school does not even exist, and I would wear that over any other school other than FAMU because I'm a FAMU grad. But I love the fact that I went to FAMU.
Half these kids didn't want to go to fucking college.
No, they didn't. They still don't want to go. Their parents are making them because it's the look that makes a difference.
You don't want to have the fuck up kid who didn't go to college.
No, definitely not. Then you'll be the talk of the town. Her kid didn't go to college. They're just on YouTube.
Did you see is her name Natalia Bryant, Kobe Bryant's oldest daughter?
Natalia. Oh yeah.
Get into USC.
No, I did not.
Oh my God, the video. She got into USC and she's super excited.
Here's my question. Do you think she got in because of her actual grades, or do you think she got in because she's Kobe Bryant's daughter?
I think she got in with her, definitely because she's Kobe Bryant's daughter, but she probably also had good grades and shit. She looks, and she's in the Sierra, Serena friend group, and I just feel like those are very well-rounded, valid, integral people. Yeah. I feel like, she probably had her shit, but it didn't hurt that her dad's fucking Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, because that's even what's her name? Is it Aoki Lee?
Oh yeah, when she got into Yale. Did she get into Yale or Harvard?
I want to say it was Yale that she got into, but that girl, she's a freaking genius though. Like you can, and I'm not saying that Kobe Bryant's daughter is not. I'm just saying you visibly saw her showing her grades and all that kind of stuff.
But also, it's one of those things where it sucks because she probably she worked very hard and she has good grades and she does all of this shit, but also a school will never give up a chance to have a celebrity child like that when they know the traffic it'll bring.
Oh yeah. And honestly, if I were her, I would be okay using my father's name to get everything. Yep. I mean, maybe because I didn't have a famous father, but I mean,
maybe it's just because I don't have famous parents. But if I did, I'd use that shit to my advantage. I would use
the shit out of that. I'd be like, I need this new Tesla. If people see me riding in it, just give it to me for free.
I don't know if you know how Instagram promotions work, but
exactly, I'd be getting promo for everything. Give me all the goods, okay? But I mean, what's the fucking purpose of having famous ass parents if you cannot use them?
Yep. There's probably a lot of cons, so let's take this pro.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I love my parents, but don't nobody know them. They churches know them. That's about it. And our family, but milk it. God damn it, milk it.
Milky ride.
I did start watching Them, the show Them. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's for free for Amazon Prime people. And it's basically executively produced by Lena Waithe and directed by her as well.
I do love Lena Waithe.
The preface of the show is that it's set in the 1950s, 1960s, and they're in this all white town. They move. It's about
all white.
It's kind of like piggybacking off of the Great Migration when a lot of African Americans came from the South and moved up north into the West. And so this is black family, and the guy is an engineer, and he moves his family to Compton. This is when Compton was all white, and this very progressive area. And they move into this all white neighborhood, and how the people in the neighborhood are just trying to get rid of them and, go through all this crap. But it's also a lot of things that are going on in the house with spirits and ghosts and stuff. And it's very reminiscent of Lovecraft Country. Yes.
Wow. That's what I was thinking.
It's very comparison to that. However, Lena Waithe has been getting a lot of backlash on social media because they are just first of all, she should not be the poster child for writing black stories because she always has this kind of fantasy racist porn kind of situation where it's always the black people are being traumatized in all her movies. Dude, and the white people and the white people are always celebrated, and then the black people are never vindicated at the very end of it all.
She's the one, she did Queen and Slim, right?
Yeah, she did Queen and Slim, exactly.
Perfect.
And The Shy, I think, is hers as well.
Yeah.
And so people, because even like what's her name, Marseille Martin from Blackish.
Oh, I love.
Someone had asked her about the fact that, you know, she's now an executive producer and she has her own like producing company and everything, and the type of movies and shows that she will produce. And she was like, well, I'm not interested in black pain. There are way too many shows about that. She was like, anything that I produce will not be about black pain. It will be about uplifting black people and making us, putting us in the light that we deserve to be in. But Lena Waithe is like getting a lot of backlash from the social media right now who've been watching it. I watched I'm only on the second episode, and it is definitely very reminiscent of like Jordan Peele's Us, and of course Lovecraft Country. I'm just kind of tired of those period pieces. I'm just tired of it.
I'm tired of, I don't know, like Us, or no, not Us. Get Out was good.
Get Out was good, but it's still the same.
It's still the same, but at the end, at least you were like, yeah, fuck that bitch.
Yeah, that's true. And his friend came back.
Yeah. Because I think he's done interviews where he said his ending wasn't like that. Like, Jordan Peele had said like he had either died in the house, or the family got away with it, or the friend didn't find him in time. Yeah. But he changed it. I'm like, that's the thing. I think people have an issue with Lena Waithe is because, like, even like in the movie Django, like you felt vindication for these two people because at least they were able to kill all these white people who had done all this bullshit to them, and they were able to be vindicated. Versus even in the movie Us, it was just like left open ended. Spoiler alert, with Lupita and the little boy. You knew that they were the tethered, and that they just got out and they just drove off into the fucking sunset. I was like, bitch, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't need that because it's the reality. Like, white people get away with shit all the time. Black people are as fucked over.
Yes.
I need a happy ending.
Exactly.
Tie it up in a bow. It's cute. There was a time, I feel like 2019, 2020, when everyone was like, we're going to show the real shit. Or like maybe 2018.
Yeah, probably 2018.
Yeah. We're going to let people know that this isn't always what life is like. And the movies are just going to be unresolved because that's real life. We're over that. We just came out of a fucking pandemic. I'm over it.
Seriously. Like it shouldn't always be the white savior comes in to rescue the black folks. Like, black folks are very well, you know, able to defend themselves, and especially in a movie like that where it's like you're a black writer. Like, can we please stop exacerbating black pain?
I did love Lovecraft. God, that was a good one.
But see, Lovecraft, at least there was some type of vindication. Like, even toward the end when Ruby, the end of the first season, when Ruby had that little special arm and she was choking the shit out of that white girl, and it was like, yes, you know. But even if there were parts of it, even in every episode, where there was some bit of vindication, because even when Jussie Smollett, when the white guys lined up all their cars, what I said?
Jussie.
Oh, Jussie, my bad. Jussie is definitely her brother. Sorry, Journey, right? Yes, Journey. She, you know, she came out and was like, she came out with the bat and was beating all the stuff or whatever. And I was like, yes, vindication, something. Show us that black people have a fucking backbone versus just always retreating in the goddamn house, just trying to stay alive. Like, goddamn, Lena.
Yeah, or even when like Ruby turns into that white woman, and she feels like so disgusted with herself, but she's like, fuck, dude,
like, it felt good,
and she
in the
sees
moment.
All that shit happening to that other girl. That was a very good show.
I think it was very well written, and there were vindicating moments throughout the actual show itself. But this one, I don't know, Lena Waithe, just stop with the period pieces. I'm over it. I'm so
we're
over
in the
it.
Now. We're in here. We're in the now.
Yes. How many fucking movies can you make about the 1940s and 50s and 60s?
There wasn't a lot going on back then.
Damn.
Slavery kind of
segregation.
We get it. Slavery sucked.
Black people dying.
Yep.
At an alarming rate, which they still are. So nothing has really changed. You're just exacerbating our trauma.
We get stuck. We're like, people need to realize what racism was and what slavery was. I don't want to speak for anyone else, but I'd like to fucking move forward. We don't have to forget it, but I think we've hit that fucking nail on the head.
But let's talk about it, how it's morphed into now being in corporate America. Let's make movies about now.
Today and the quote unquote slaveries or the oppressions of today.
These
or like
microaggressions.
How black people are working against that and becoming very powerful, strong people in communities and building up people. That's what I want to see on my TV. Right. Strong black people, insecure.
Yeah. I'm sick of hearing in these movies and shows, these niggers, the hard ER. Yeah. Like I'm so sick of hearing that. Like, I'm sick of it.
And tired of the Photoshop.
Yeah, it's annoying.
That's why I love Insecure, because it's just a regular ass show with black people.
It really is. And but it also shows even too the microaggressions that Molly has to deal with, the racism that she has to deal with, even within her own, when she went to that firm, the black firm, even within her own group of people. And it's just like, this is the stuff that's relatable to today.
Because I don't feel like as many people are dealing with overt racism today as they are like a million microaggressions
Yeah.
You know,
because it's just covert now. Like, I mean, you can't walk around here in hoods anymore. So they got police badges now. And I mean, this is the type of stuff that you want to help teach even, you know, young teenagers that are coming up. Okay, here's how you identify a racist. Okay, your boss is a racist.
They ask to touch your hair. They say you look exotic. They say you're so smart for a black girl.
Wow, I'm so impressed. First of all, take that surprise out your motherfucking voice. Okay?
You speak so well.
You speak so well for a
Your
black
hair is so much
person.
softer than I thought it would be.
Wow, you're so articulate. Yeah, I hate it. So, do you use cocoa butter? If let me tell you something. If one more person asks me that at work, I'm gonna go off.
I fucking hate cocoa butter. That's my...
You don't like cocoa butter?
No, I hate the smell. I hate heavy smells. First of all, I
What
can't
about
breathe.
Shay?
Not a fan.
Ooh, that's your white side coming out.
I know. I don't want to talk about it.
You gotta. You should be. No, I'm kidding.
I got this hair oil, and it was specifically like... all the reviews were like, this is for like black hair, black hair, black hair. I was like, I have fucking black hair. Fuck y'all, I'm gonna use this too. I fucking used it and I was like, this is not for my hair.
Like, I need something for mixed hair.
I was like, shit. Fuck, I fucked up.
Like, this a little bit too black for me.
Give me the mixed chicks. Give me the mixed chicks. It's too much.
Stick with your own kind, man. I mean, I got thick hair too, but some of that stuff be like, nah, this ain't
It's
for me.
fucking to my scalp.
No, this is. I'm like, I got a little drop of white from my great grandfather.
Yeah.
Like this
Did I
ain't.
tell you the time someone laid my edges crazy when I was little?
Oh God.
And I was fucking mortified. I
They
was like,
probably didn't even lay them right. They probably popped right back up because you have very curly
they
hair.
did like
little swirlies
on the side, and I just wasn't ready for that. That wasn't me. That wasn't the vibe. And then fucking 2002 when I had it going on.
I was graduating high school.
Yeah, that wasn't my vibe at the time. And no, none of my friends had that. That wasn't, you know.
Because they were white.
Yeah, because you want to look like your friends. I didn't want to look like anything different. And she made me look fucking...
She made you look
straight
black.
out the fucking... Yep.
Straight black.
Wasn't ready for it.
Your friends were like, ooh, what are
And
these
then I had to
Swoopies?
fucking... You know, they were gelled down to the side of my bed or rip them up.
Yeah, don't sweat because then you'll... and especially if you use that Ampro style gel, that black gel, and then you start sweating black down your face.
Yeah.
Like,
Now I'm like, shit, I wish someone would lay my edges.
That is too funny. All right, anything else in social media or things we need to be watching before we go to the rehab corner?
I hate social media. Let's go to the rehab corner.
Oh, geez. Okay, let's go to the rehab corner. All right, so... that was you walking over to the rehab corner. All right, so in the rehab corner today, I want to personally give a shout out to, I'm not going to violate HIPAA, one of my patients who I had been working with, myself and my coworker Audrey, who you guys know from the Friendsgiving episode.
Littlefoot.
Let's call him Mr. Johnson.
Okay. Mine was more fun, but
Yeah, Mr. Littlefoot. Because that's too close to an actual patient that we have there.
I didn't even think
so yes, that's way too close for cover. Johnson. So anyway, myself and Audrey, who you guys have met from the Friendsgiving episode, we have been working with this man for the past 2 years in acute care, which is insane that a patient is coming back and forth, you know, for this long a period of time. He came in, this man was basically like dead when he first came in, on a ventilator, on ECMO, chest open, the whole night. We literally thought this man was going to die. And his wife, super, super sweet, always by his side, always at the bedside, you know, throughout every session, throughout everything. He left, went to an LTAC because he was trached to get stronger. They almost killed him at this fucking LTAC. And obviously I won't say the name, but it was horrible. So they came back in less than 24 hours. We fought for him, PT and OT and speech together, got him strong enough walking where he was able to, you know, sit up on his own and do everything. Ma'am, just go ahead and do it. Yeah, there you go. All right. So, and then we basically saw him when he came back to get his LVAD. He got an LVAD, which is a left ventricular assistive device, which basically is like a little heart on the side that pumps for you to perfuse blood to the rest of your body because your left ventricles are not working to perfuse blood. Anyway, so saw him through that. And the heart transplant surgeon was like, listen, you know, I'm very leery about trying to give him a heart transplant just because I don't know if his body can handle it because he was so frail and all the stuff he went through. And we had been telling this surgeon, like, listen, this man can handle it. He's been going to the gym. He's working out. He's doing everything that he possibly can. I ended up seeing him, I think it was like in August or September of last year. No, actually it was December when I got out of the COVID unit. And I saw him because he was just here for a routine kind of procedure. And he was telling me, he was like, yeah, you know, we're in talks about, you know, potentially getting a heart transplant, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward to not last week, but week before last, Wednesday, I ended up going on the floor and going to go see one of my other ECMO patients. And I walked past his room and I'm like, wait a minute, I know this guy from somewhere and his wife. And I look at him and I'm like, what the hell are you doing in the hospital? Like in the ICU specifically, like what happened? Because he looked really good. And so he was like, I'm here to get a heart transplant. And I was
I would've cried.
oh my gosh. Like myself and Audrey, we were so freaking excited to see him because he looked so good. His body looked so prepared to undergo this extensive surgery. He got his surgery, went without a hitch. This man was discharged on 9 days after getting his heart transplant. Versus our other guy was there for like fucking 2 months. I mean, but it was just, I mean, we cried on Friday. I was a punk on Friday. Like I made him this shirt because I have a Cricut, and I made him this shirt that says physical and occupational therapy stole my heart, and I put like the actual heart with like a EKG kind of thing in it, and then on the back I put his name and then put Audrey and I's name on the back of it just so he can remember us by. And him and his wife, they gave us a card and just wrote like a personal message to both of us and was just like, thank you so much for taking care of us for the last 2 years. My husband said that you were basically an angel in his time of darkness, and I was just like, oh my, I mean, we literally cried in that room, and he was just like, I hate coming to hospitals, and you guys have basically turned into my family, and you guys have, it makes it so much easier when you come to a hospital and you're going to be taken care of because you see familiar faces, and I trust you guys. And he was emotional, he was crying, his wife was crying, Audrey and I, we were trying to be a thug in these streets, but we failed miserably. So
it's hard.
It is, because they're such an amazing couple and just amazing patients, and you have this job to advocate for these people, and you feel good about advocating for them. But then on the flip side, it's like, damn, there's nobody that makes me feel comfortable at work. There's nobody that advocates for me at work in the same way that I advocate for these people. And administration plays on that shit. You know what I mean? And it's just fucking terrible, but
it's also hard because I feel like we deal with a lot of heavy shit at work. People are always dying. People are always getting sick and not getting better. Mm-hmm. And people are always super depressed, and you're holding all this shit back. So then when something cracks you, you're just like, God damn it.
I know. I told him, I was like,
I'm so happy.
I literally told him to their face, I said, there was a reason I did not quit this job 2 years ago. And it was like a full circle moment to literally see this man at death's door, to the point where we almost like discharged him from our service because we were just like, he's not following commands. He's not doing anything. And then one day Audrey and I were just like, you know what, let's just go in and just see what we can do. And we were talking to him, and you could tell he was in there. You just needed somebody to be a little bit more patient with him. And we would literally put our names by him every single day. We were the only 2 therapists that worked with him, unless one of us were not there. We didn't let nobody else touch this man. Even when he came in for his LVAD, Audrey was like, okay, the OTR is going to evaluate, give him back to me. I would evaluate him. I'm like, this is my patient. No one else can touch this man.
There's so few moments like that.
Oh yeah, where you want to keep your patient.
It always just goes to shit.
Yeah, as soon as you keep him, you're just like, I'm sick of this bitch.
That's what Hoochie could use from you.
Oh hell no, hell no. Because yes, there actually is one patient right now where the nurse practitioner just keeps coming to me and was like, "Hey, can you put this man back on your service?" No,
he needs you.
No, he's following commands today. What commands are he following?
Shit.
Well, he gave me a thumbs up. He blew a kiss at me. Bitch,
no,
that is not a command. Did you ask him to give you a thumbs up? Well, no, he just did. Okay then, motherfucker, he's mimicking you. That's not following commands. Yes and no. Here's what I want you to know. For all you clinicians out there, specifically MDs, nurse practitioners, PAs, yes and no questions are not fucking commands. Okay? They're not commands. Okay? Let me say it again. Yes and no questions are not commands. Are you in pain?
Oh, that's beautiful.
No. Are you tired? Yes. That is not a command. Your brain does not need to process that.
Mm-hmm. Touch your nose and touch my finger.
Thank you. Kick your fucking leg out. That's a command. Sit up on your own. Stand up.
Cluck like a duck.
I mean, goddamn. Blink one for yes.
I would like all the doctors and nurse practitioners to know. My job is to regain function through meaningful activity.
Meaningful.
Meaning, if it's inconsistent, if it's not purposeful, that's just not meaningful. It's not doing anything for me or for them, and therefore my services are not needed here.
And if you're not able to actively participate, which means no fucking passive range of motion, you dumbasses. The nurse practitioner, I went to him this past week, and me and him, again, we have this very candid, professional relationship where we can talk to each other very, very different than most. And as soon as he comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, good morning. What the fuck do you want, bitch?" And he's just like, I'm just telling you, he's can we do this or can we do that? And then you have the nurses that are just like, "Hey, so they want." It ain't no fucking day. It's one fucking person. Well, obviously I can't say his name, but it's one person that is asking you this bullshit.
Mr. Magoo.
Exactly. And it's like, no, I'm not. Listen, if you have any complaints, you can call this one number, which is our office, and you can get another therapist. But I guarantee you, the first thing they're gonna do is call me and say, "Hey, Monica, what's this patient doing?" Absolutely nothing. We've been seeing him 12 times. No progress has been made. Get him out of the ICU. Why? Because ICU delirium is real.
People need to get out of the fucking ICU.
They do. Like, people don't understand. ICU delirium is so real. You have this patient locked in these technically it's 3 walls because you got a slide door. Exactly.
One a glass.
Right. So you have in a 3-door room, and they're seeing the same people. They need a change. They need a break. So I just pray by Monday, which of course we're recording this on Sunday. Hopefully this patient will no longer be there who cannot actively participate.
Jeez,
hopefully he's an LTAC. He should be in an LTAC.
Praying for a good week. Yeah. Good, smooth week.
That definitely ended my week very, very well.
I'm sure, and on a high. That's such a good feeling. I met him once, and both him and his wife, I forgot to test half the shit I needed to test. I was just wrapped up in it. He's so nice. He's so personable. You get wrapped up in both of them. Oh, it makes the bullshit semi worth it.
Yeah, his wife is such a wonderful, supportive person. She just literally will stand there and sit there in the room. She will not get in the way. If you need her to do something, she will jump to do it. They are just so thankful and so appreciative. They are just such a beautiful couple. And I think from seeing even her, from her perspective, in the very beginning, when she could actively see her husband of all of these years dying, and us coming in and educating her and just saying, "Listen, without all this medical jargon, here is actually what's happening with your husband. Like, we could care less about the meds and all that. That will work itself out. Let's look at the physicality of what he's actually doing functionally for his mobility status." And for her to be able to see her husband grow from that point to now no longer, we even told her, we were like, it's probably going to be so amazing for you to be able to hug him without fear of pulling on his drive line from his LVAD.
Oh, that's crazy.
Even just for him, I asked him, I said, "What's going to be the first thing you do when you go home?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm going to take a 45-minute shower."
I was just going to say, is it a shower?
Yeah. Because for the past, year and a half, he's been taking these bed baths, or not bed baths, but like sponge baths, because you can't submerge with an LVAD because you'll get fucking electrocuted and die. So, and even he's a person who, likes to go on boats and stuff. And he's like, "I haven't been able to go sailing because I have an LVAD. It's not safe for me to go, because if I get flipped over,
you're fucked.
I'm electrocuting myself and dying," you know? But even just the simple things that we take for granted, of even just being able to hug people without any issue, being able to take a bath and
stand up when you want to.
Exactly.
Get going when you want to. Not have to unplug yourself or make sure you have extra battery, or when that storm came, what the fuck am I going to do if the power doesn't turn back on? Shit like that.
Because I even asked him, I was like, "What happened to you when we had the snowstorm?" And he said that they lost power, I think, for like maybe 10 hours or so, but he said he had plenty of batteries that were there, which was great. And I think just because where they live, they just didn't get affected that much. But he said that the land that they live on, the well actually iced over.
Oh no.
But once the temperature started dropping, then they were able to pump, the water and stuff like that. But, it was just an amazing into a tumultuous week. And it just, again, my job is not worth it. Seeing my patients are worth
100%.
it.
It's nice to be reminded why you show up to work.
Right. Other than the fact that I have
the paycheck.
bills.
Yeah. The paycheck does help. It's nice to remember why you got into this shit. I got into it because I liked meeting people and helping people and seeing them get better.
Yeah.
And when you're stuck when you're in healthcare in a large hospital, it gets rough. But when you're in an ICU, you don't have good outcomes a lot.
No, you don't.
And when you do, you don't get to see it because they discharge out of the ICU to a floor. They get really better there.
And someone else gets the glory. Like even I was talking to Cointa, who you guys already know is the coworker who left us, that loser. Anyway, she listens to this podcast, so she's gonna laugh when she hears that. When she always sends articles about our former patients who were, COVID positive, who went to these different hospitals to get lung transplants. And it pisses us off so bad when she sends us these things, and you see these people are, "Oh, my PT nurse, my OT nurse," or whatever. First of all, we're not fucking nurses, and that's no disrespect with nurses, but we're not nurses. But their other therapist gets all the glory when we were the ones who even, if it weren't for us, you wouldn't have even qualified to even go to these places.
Your wounds would have been so bad.
Exactly. But we don't do it for the recognition, but damn it, it feels good to be recognized at the same time, you know?
Well, like, no one wants to get up in the ICU. We have to force your ass to. You know when you want to get up? When you're finally up and walking downstairs.
Yeah.
And you're finally, feeling better.
Exactly. I mean, even too, we get so much pushback from nursing because they're just like, okay, bitch, I'm here for a 12-hour shift. Don't kill my patient. And we're like, we're going to try our best not to kill your patient. Yeah. However, we can't make any promises, but we're going to try our best. And then you're just like, code blue. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Hope you warmed up for compression.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm stepping the fuck out.
Pretty much. I'm only BLS. I'm not ACLS. So,
nope, sure not. All I know how to do is hit that button and put them flat.
That's it. Proceed. They're all ready for you. I mean, I don't want to start compressions, but I will if I have to. But yeah, so that was definitely a great ending to a horrible week at a horrible toxic environment. So yeah.
Yeah.
But what about you? What have you been going through this week for the rehab corner? Do you want to talk about it or no? It's okay if you don't.
I just need to,
Let me ask you this question. Do you think that, or do you feel that my disdain for where I am in my career has played a part in how you feel right now in your career as a new grad?
Let me tell you something. It hadn't, because for the whole time when you were going through your shit, right? Like your big shit, I was like, damn, she really feels this way because she is so burnt out. Like she is very burnt out. I do not think I'm there. I don't think I get there. I don't think I'll feel this way. So like the little things that are big annoyances to you are little annoyances to me at this point. Once people started coming for me, once I saw that shit flip, it was just over. Cause I was like, I've already seen the shit you're going through.
Yeah.
So I think that catapulted me to a new spot where I might not have been before.
Yeah.
But literally up until that point, I was like, you're burnt out because they're doing shit to you and you've been here for a while and this fucking sucks. But I'm not there. And then as soon as the script flipped, the script flipped.
Yes.
And as soon as I felt super unsupported or people were coming for me or,
So do you feel like the script flipped because of your association with me?
I feel that it flipped because I said something and because I am close with you. And I think the idea is that she's saying that because she's friends with Monica or Monica's talking to her and that's why she's acting like this.
Right.
When really I'm just like, this is stupid. So someone's got to say something because no one is.
See it, because I feel like for a very long time, I kept silent to you because I did not want to taint you in any way. I wanted you to go through it for yourself because you are a new grad. And I think the more I was just like, you'll just see for yourself. I used to say that all the time. You'll see for yourself.
And we were always very good about I would always tell you like, that person hasn't done anything to me and I understand the way you feel about them, but that's a y'all thing.
That's your experience.
That's your experience. And I don't have that. I'm not going to project that onto them, but I'm not invalidating what you're saying because I'm sure it's true.
Exactly.
And we were rocking with that for a while until those people also started coming at me and I was like, oh no, fuck it. Nope, we're done.
You were like, damn it, she was right this whole time.
It sucked. It really sucked. But I was like, and that's what you'd been saying. You start saying things to people and I mean,
I think anybody who, first of all, has common sense. Number two, anybody who operates in that level of high common sense. And then number three, the people who speak out, who have that high level of common sense, you are now a target because you call out the bullshit and you call out all of the foolishness that goes on that doesn't help efficiency in your department. And they're looking at you like, well, why are you saying anything? Just be happy for a job. No.
It is very hard for me to see a problem unless I'm just completely resolved.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to see a problem or issue and not be like, let's problem solve. Let's fucking make this better for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone is obviously having an issue and I think there's a way for us to fix it.
Right.
That's our whole ass job.
It really
I problem
is.
solve all day.
Yeah.
So for me not to do it in my own capacity to help my own work be better and easier when there's people around me, it's really annoying.
Yeah.
When you have all these ideas or discussions or just like, let's spitball and it's just like, nope.
Yeah.
You're like, this is insane, dude.
But I think too, as your clinical judgment increases, because I think at every point, I think every new grad, every person that is a therapist who works in healthcare, whatever the case may be, your level of experience when you walk in, you are definitely drinking the Kool-Aid that any company gives you, right? Because you don't know any better. And you won't know until you actually start going through it versus, and I used to be the same way. I'm still that way. Like you know, if somebody tells me, oh, watch out for them, I'm going to watch out for you because you're warning me about them. And, you know, I'm appreciative that you're warning me, but at the same time, they have not done anything to me to make me feel that way. So I'm not going to treat them as you would because they haven't physically done anything to me or verbally or whatever that I'm aware of. Once they start flipping and I'm like, oh shit, they were right. I should have, looked, but you need to go through it in order to, again, have that professional maturity. And also too, as your clinical judgment increases and your experience increases, you are going to see things that you didn't normally see as a new grad that you need to. And that's all a part about maturing as a therapist. But, you know, I've always wanted to not taint you or any other new grad in a way where even if you say something, oh gosh, this person is so nice, oh she's so relatable, I'm like, wow, that's so awesome that you feel that way. That's just gonna be my only response.
Yeah, you played the fence for a while until it got really bad there at the end, but even then you were just like, I mean, y'all are gonna do what you want, but they're crazy.
That these people, listen, fuck them, fuck their mamas, fuck their whole lineage. I'm telling you, they're gonna come for you one day, they're gonna flip on you
and
one day.
Like, damn, she's really upset.
And then one day they flipped on you and you're like, God damn it, mom.
I was like,
right.
I fucking went off in the I can't.
Yeah.
It's very hard. But so it's just been one of those weeks. And I have days where I'm like, this is just a job. This is just somewhere I come for 8 hours a day to do a very specific list of tasks that I am given. And then I clock the fuck out.
Pretty much.
And then there's other days where I'm like, no, I spend 40 hours a week here and it's gonna be a good environment because I fucking live my life here basically. That's and all these people I'm surrounded with are my friends. We're gonna make it. So yeah, I still boomerang back and forth between those two things. But I'm hoping this week it's gonna be a week of I'm coming in to do my job that I'm paid for, nothing more, nothing less. I'm gonna do my job well. I'm gonna get the fuck out.
Absolutely. I'm speaking it and I'm manifesting it over this week. This week will be an amazing week. It's gonna be. This week is going to go by so fast, but it's going to have so many promising things that we have been going through will be rectified. God is going to avenge us this week in Earth's time. Our enemies will be crushed at our feet and he will give us a front row seat to their demise.
In the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus. Amen.
I pray that over both of us.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, here's a fun question. If you think Jesus was alive here on earth, he is in earth now. Yes. But if he was like, once again, a man being, walking these streets, thoughting and bopping in the year of our Lord 2021, what do you think his profession would be? You can't say carpenter.
No, he'd just be like full-time ministry.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't think he'd have like a job?
No. He couldn't because he's God. He has so many different things that he has, not necessarily he has to do, but so many requests that he would have. Yeah. There's no way he could actually have a 9 to 5 or anything like that.
I would like him to be a radio DJ and or podcaster.
It's Jesus Christ on the ones and twos.
It's your man JC coming at you again.
Yeah, no, I think he would just be full-time ministry. He would just be like how the Pope is, like that's how he would be. Just but Jesus and actually able to do something. and actually hold people accountable, i.e. pedophilia. And I said it. Yeah. What do you think he would be? I mean, other than the radio DJ?
I guess you're right.
I think you would just like him to be a radio DJ.
Just like him to be a radio DJ or, like, I don't know. I like the idea of him having a job, like a regular job.
But how can he do that to be Jesus?
Because this is my Jesus, okay, in my head.
The thing is, if Jesus had a job, I wouldn't want him to be my God. Because why are you working and I'm working too?
Somebody's got
to be the ruler of all now. Come on, Jesus. Just be like, I'm sorry, I can't answer your prayer right now. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you when I come out for work. Like, what the heck? That's not going to work.
What if he was just really good at something on the side? Like, and that's what he was like. He was a fucking basketball coach or something. Like, he was in ministry and prophesized all day, and then 6 p.m. he was coaching basketball.
I think he would just be like a what do they call them? Not public speakers, but a motivational speaker.
Motivational speaker, that'd be good.
He just like go around the country and like nobody would do anything because they'd just be, we're listening to the voice of Jesus. I can't go to work right now. Can't do it.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was an interesting question. Yeah,
thanks. That's my friend Natasha. We were talking about it today.
Oh, really? Yeah. Shouts out to Natasha. That's interesting. All right. Anything else before we wrap this up?
No, that's it. I'm done with this.
All righty. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. We'll see you next week.
Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at The Face Off Pod. Be sure to tune in to The Face Off every Tuesday where new episodes are released.